Hi, I'm AJ Marks.
And I'm Megan Solaginto.
And welcome back to Season 2 of American Idiot's Bride.
Everybody, welcome to American Idiots Abroad.
On this podcast, we discover what makes us uniquely American by analyzing the differences and similarities between the U.S. and the U.K. with a British or non-British guest each episode. Therefore, there's actually no qualification.
Yeah. I'm originally from San Jose, California. Then I moved to Liverpool. And then I moved to Manchester earlier this year. So
it was last year, actually.
It was last year.
It was last year.
Oh my God,
yep.
It's 2021.
Almost been a year.
What about you? Who are you?
So me, I am from Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. That is a true fact. No disputing. And then I moved to England. That is also a true fact. Now it sounds really suspicious when I say it that way.
Yeah.
And I'm totally not lying. And I now live in Liverpool. But I am currently in Boston.
Yeah, these are not alternative facts, folks. But today we are talking alternatives. What a segue. Not alternative facts, but alternative words. We have a very special guest. We have host of the Spark Parade, Adam, here with us. Do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Adam Unze. As you said, I host a podcast called The Spark Parade, where I talk to people about the art that's inspired them. I grew up in Minnesota, but I lived in the UK for a long time. I'm a dual citizen.
Oh, dually. So jealous. Cannot relate.
So
no.
I guess I fit both categories of guest, that I am both British and non.
There was no qualification, and yet
you had both.
You made both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overqualified.
Where in Minnesota are you from?
I grew up in the Twin Cities. I grew up in St. Paul.
Oh, cool. All my family lives in Minneapolis, Wayzata area.
Oh, yeah.
Are you familiar with that? Yeah. Oh, you betcha.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I've heard on your show, I've heard your Minnesota accent and thought it was very good. And I wondered if there was some connection there.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. Oh, no.
Oh, my God. Oh, sure. Oh, God.
Don't say that. You're embarrassing me. No.
Oh, no. I just miss Caribou coffee, honestly.
Oh, God.
Throwback. Yeah, they all have kind of the same sort of fun accent. Does your family have it? Because you don't have one, unfortunately.
No. I had it kind of beaten out of me. I actually lived in Boston for a little while going to college.
So literally beaten out of you.
Yeah, and the second that you live in a different place and you're like, does anybody want to go get a pop? Then, it's done. Like, everybody just really makes fun of you mercilessly, and you have to kind of course correct there. But nobody in my family lives in Minnesota anymore, so we've all kind of scattered to the winds. I have my mom and my oldest sister and her family all live in Scotland.
Oh, wow.
I have more family living in the UK now than I do in the US. All of my family who live in Scotland now are citizens as well. I have one sister who lives in Seattle who's the only member of my immediate family who is not a citizen.
Wow.
And we all have citizenship through different means. So my oldest sister, Amy, moved there first. She ended up marrying my brother-in-law, who's Scottish, so she has citizenship through him. I got citizenship through my ex-boyfriend at a time before gay marriage was allowed in the UK. They used to have a domestic partner visa.
Yeah.
That's like, if you're in a relationship akin to marriage, then you could get indefinite leave to remain. And then once you have that for a year, you can apply for a passport. So I got it that way. And my mom, as my niece and nephews were born, she went over to kind of help out with them a little bit. I have twin nephews, so especially when they were born, she worked in healthcare and she got a visa through her work and eventually got citizenship that way. So,
oh my God, all of you.
Wow, that's a master scheme. I don't know how they haven't caught on to you yet.
How many years in total did you live in the UK?
12.
Okay, great. So you know a lot then.
Yes, definitely. And also, like, because my whole family is there, my husband is English.
There you go.
We live in New York now. But, I'm surrounded by British people here. We are part of a pretty tight expat community.
Oh, well, I love that. Even you're still an expat, even back in the home country.
Yeah.
So today, like we said before, we're going to go over some words and phrases with alternative meanings. So these were things that when we first came here, realized, these words that I'm using are not being taken the same way, or the words that they're using are not how I understand them.
These are words that mean one thing in the US and another thing in the UK.
A list for you listeners to absorb so that you don't have to make the same mistakes that we did. So actually one that I encountered a few weeks ago, I think, was the word homely.
Okay.
Have you tried using this word in the UK?
Yeah, I've had conversations recently with a group of mostly British people talking to an American person and not understanding that it's almost like opposite meanings.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wait, hold on. I need to be educated.
Okay.
Knowledge needs to be learned.
Homely in the UK means like comfy, cozy. Like if someone says, you know, you've made your flat into a real like homely environment or something, that would be something like a family would enjoy sitting in or whatever.
My experience of homely in the US is as an adjective for a person. If you're saying that they're quite plain or
rough around the edges,
you know, someone who's not ugly but not good looking.
Fair. Yeah, I knew it was to describe a person. I didn't know it was
it's an
that
insult.
way. Okay, that makes
The
sense.
other layer of complication is in this country, what I've found is that homey, like somebody will say, oh, it's really homey. And British people say homely instead.
So another one that I often have to correct my mom on whenever she's here is she will like go up at the counter at Cafe Nero and ask for cream in her coffee and then just get stared at for a very long time. Have you encountered this? I don't know if you're a coffee man.
Wait, I'm so confused. I don't drink coffee, so I don't know what's going on here.
It's more like
why am I super dumb? What's going on?
British people will drink milk in coffee, but having cream in coffee is like seems very weird to British people. And now, like living in New York, if I go to, you know, have breakfast with my husband somewhere, he'll order a coffee and he always has milk in his coffee, but they'll give him cream and he's just like, oh, it's so rich and I don't want this. Oh, that doesn't belong in my coffee. It's like,
it's so
I really like your impression of your husband.
Yes. I'm guessing he's from London based on this impression.
He is from the West Coast, from Somerset. So kind of
Somerset.
Yeah, he does not have a farmer accent.
Oh no.
His mom grew up in Northern Ireland and she was very insistent that Chris and his brother do not have a West Country accent.
So this one I thought was super weird. Okay, did you know that a la mode has a different meaning here?
No. Oh, yeah.
Apparently, the only country that uses a la mode to mean that your dessert is served with ice cream is the US. A la mode in French means in fashion. So most people will use it to mean in fashion, whereas in America we go, actually that means I'm going to have a side of ice cream. So I don't know how we got from in fashion to side of ice cream.
Side of ice cream was in fashion at the time.
It's always in fashion.
Right? Okay. Maybe that's why. You guys teaching me things today.
We figured it out. Well, I don't know if I would say teaching because I pulled that out of my ass, but it sounded right.
Yeah. I guess I've never thought about that, but that is, it does make sense and is true. And I would never, ever hear a British person asking for a side of ice cream that way.
Yeah, but it's funny because I think we like it because it kind of sounds fancy. And in our heads, we would say it like in a British accent or whatever. Be like, oh yes, I'd have that brownie a la mode. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's like, it doesn't make any sense to them.
Another one. Okay. So I don't know how to go into it. Rubber means very different things.
Would you like to explain, Adam?
Don't you put this on Adam?
Passing the ball.
I'll take it.
Yes.
In America, as a slang term, means condom. And in the UK, it means eraser.
I was going to say, and you know what? Before you said which one was which, I honestly didn't even know because from being in the UK for so long, it just kind of like everything just kind of meshes together.
It's true.
Sometimes when they're like alternate words for things, I just like, I don't remember which one's the British one and which one's the American one. Like I just go with whichever one I hear more, you know? So it's like whether Americans say it to me more or British people say it to me more, they can convince me that that's the correct one.
Like my friend Allison, shout out Allison, she always says, twat, but she pronounces it twat. I think that's just how Americans pronounce it.
Yeah.
Which is how I pronounce it.
But I feel like that's us thinking that how a Brit would say it. We just assume that they would say twat because of the ah kind of sound.
See, I first heard it as twat, but I didn't know it was a British word.
Oh.
Or that like it had any association with Britain.
It's definitely twat in America and twat in the UK, but also twat is much more common in the UK than twat is in the US. Like, people call each other twat all the time, and it's very casual. It's the same thing, I mean, to a much
You can say it.
harder degree.
Permission.
Using the word cunt is like,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
there's an HBO show called Doll and M that Emily Mortimer did. She's an actor in the show, and they're working on a production with an American, I think, and somebody gets really offended by them saying and she's like, no, it's just like a friendly thing. It's just like, what are you doing, you fucking
It's true.
Yeah.
I remember before I moved to this country, I actually had a conversation with someone where I was like, I think and maybe pussy are my least favorite swear words. And then all of a sudden I came here and I was just inundated with all of these. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I just became desensitized. And then now I just say all the swear words.
Living in Britain is like being desensitized.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, like the things that are a big deal in America compared to the things that are a big deal in the UK. Like here, if you call someone a you are like, you'll be thrown in jail. Like people don't tolerate that. But in the UK, it's like you can call someone a all day long, or, you know, it's still a bad word, but it's like, it's much.
You could call your child.
Right. Much more casual.
I think we have way too many in this episode, and so I think we've like gone past our limit to the point where I don't want American listeners to tune out. So I'm just going to bleep all of them.
Another word for vagina that is fanny.
A classic.
Yeah, fanny in the US means butt, and fanny in the UK means vagina.
I don't use that word to mean butt, and I haven't ever, but like I have friends whose like grandparents would say that when I was growing up.
Yeah. And also fanny pack. Fanny pack gets a lot of giggles here. Yeah.
I don't understand that, to be honest. Like, I get it, but I also am just like, yeah, no, I guess it makes sense. But it's something that like I don't have the association with, even though when I do think fanny, I do think vagina.
Yeah, now I do. Now I definitely do.
And then there's hoo-ha.
Hoo-ha. Yes, there's hoo-ha. So
This is another one. So I understand hoo-ha to be vagina.
yes.
Put it in the hoo-ha. Yeah, exactly. Not that people say it that way.
Put it in the hoo-ha.
I was just trying to use it in a sentence.
That's not
did not
how
work.
it would be used in a sentence.
My hoo-ha's itchy, maybe.
Very good. Very good example.
Yes. That's actually when people would use it.
Is this like the spelling bee? Could you please use it in a sentence?
My hoo-ha's itchy, yes. And so in Britain, it means an argument or making a fuss.
Did you know this?
I didn't, but with context, I could probably pick up on it. You know what I mean? Like, I could probably, if someone's saying like, oh, they're going around making a hoo-ha, I wouldn't assume they're constructing a
In a lab.
Using your context clues.
Yes.
Using my very nuanced context clues, I could maybe understand that they're not talking about guns.
That's the thing about being an immigrant is context is everything every day.
Mm-hmm.
Chaps, when I say it out loud, both meanings come to mind, but I don't know which one I would like immediately think of unless context is there. So
I feel like an idiot. Neither meaning comes to mind. I don't know what you're talking about. What are chaps? Or what is chaps? Or what?
I got you.
How do you chaps?
I got you covered. Chaps in America, for a cowboy, the like leather things that kind of go over your thighs.
Oh, yeah.
assless chaps.
Yeah, I was going to say in the UK, that's kind of more the direction that I would hear it in. But like a chap is also a man.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I was going to say both of those I would know what those are. But like, yeah, again, context.
Context.
I feel like if you just said chaps out of nowhere, I would be like, what?
If you're saying, oh, these assless chaps suck.
I think assless chaps, I fully understand what that is.
But you're not
yes.
insulting a group of men who might not have great bums. You are saying...
Or bums at all.
Or bums at all. Bumless men. But but you're actually talking about an item of clothing.
I'm fully on board with using assless chaps as an insult towards men having like really flat asses.
Assless chaps. Yeah.
Assless chaps.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, speaking of bums, bum is another one.
Yes.
Megan, you want to take this away?
Sure. So,
She doesn't want to take it away.
I don't. Bum is both a verb and a noun. This is a fun episode for my mom to listen to. So
I can explain it if you want.
yes, please.
All right. This is for you, Jen. So to bum something, right? If you were bumming a cigarette, that's to basically take it from someone. You know, you didn't buy the cigarette, but you are smoking it anyway.
I mean, you don't just take it off them. You would like ask.
Yeah, no, you ask. You say, can I bum a cig?
Yeah.
And to bum someone is to have sex with them.
I remember the first time I told someone I was bummed in this country. And yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh, you mean like, oh, I'm so bummed out.
So bummed out. But I just said, oh, I'm so bummed. It was not the kind of conversation I wanted to have at that time. I was already bummed, you know? Yeah.
They understand bummer, I think, even though they'll be like, oh, bummer.
Yeah, they get so schoolboy about it.
Yeah, they're like, oh, bummer. Yeah, but bummed, I think, is something that does not really exist for them.
No.
In terms of being sad or being upset.
Only butt sex.
So
Yes, literally, it's...
Megan.
What?
Just laughing at you being bummed. You're like, oh, I'm so bummed right now. This is a way more sexual podcast than I anticipated it to be. Why do we choose these ones first?
I don't know. A chemist in the UK is a pharmacy.
And a Coldplay song.
And a cold...
Or no, that's a scientist.
That's a
Sorry.
scientist. Also,
It's all the
I
same.
feel like in America, a chemist would be a scientist.
Right.
Right?
Like
Yeah.
a practitioner of chemistry.
Yeah, a person,
Yes.
not a place. I thought that weed was legal here. And the reason why I thought that wasn't just because of shows like Skins and stuff, but was because outside of every chemist is a green plus sign. And in California, that's what denotes dispensaries. So I was just seeing all these green crosses outside of places all across the country. And I was like, wow, this is a liberal oasis here. This is
No such luck.
So much marijuana.
I was like, wow, I could just get it down the road. I can, like this nuts.
So another kind of health and safety related one,
Keeping it on topic. Okay. Love it.
casualty.
Yes.
Which there are other complications, not just because in the UK, casualty means the emergency room.
It's so morbid.
I know.
Yeah. Casualty and A&E are kind of interchangeable. A&E meaning accident and emergency and not arts and entertainment.
That confused me so much the first time I heard it.
Is that a TV channel?
Exactly.
But also, if you're talking about like a war or an accident or something, in America, the number of casualties means the number of people who are dead. And in the UK, it can, I think it's just like injuries as well. It's not dead people.
Which makes more sense to me, at least.
Yeah.
Like a casualty seems like it would incorporate major injuries.
I don't know, though. I'm so used to the American definition. I didn't actually even know this until I was researching this. And then I was like, oh, shit. I have just been misunderstanding news reports for the last 6 years.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So something I want to bring up, this is something that I had a debate about recently, is daddy long legs.
Okay.
And what a daddy long legs is. Because to me, it's that spider with a tiny little body and like legs that are like 4 times the size.
Yes.
But like very thin.
Yes. And that's the American understanding of a daddy long leg, I would say, like pretty like across the country.
There was like a sort of kind of like mosquito kind of thing on the train and had like the similar like legs, like really large legs, although the mosquito was like fucking massive. Like mosquito-esque thing.
We would call them mosquito eaters.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. So one that's fun is the word stone. And I don't find this one fun because I'm not good at math in intervals of 14.
What? You're not good at math at intervals of 14? Who are you?
So,
although I will say I do count everything in threes for some reason.
Okay, freak. Have a seat.
Just something I've noticed about myself.
So a Brit will never tell you their weight in pounds. They will always tell it to you in stone, which is 1 stone equals 14 pounds.
So basically you're just getting like a broader estimate.
Also, stone is what they call the pit of a fruit. So it would be like the stone of a peach or the stone of a mango.
A peach stone sounds pretty dope, though. Not gonna lie.
But they don't weigh those in stones. Those are...
Yeah.
So it's only people that are weighed in stones, correct?
I think so.
Okay. I'm being the audience surrogate right now.
But Adam, did you know this one as an Anglophile before or no?
I think so, but the conversion never came naturally to me. I would always have to look it up. And still do.
Yeah, I still do.
Or like it's like a calculation. You do also have to use context clues. So if somebody's like, oh, I've gotten up to 17 stone, and it's like, oh, that must be really big, I guess.
Yeah, that's a lot, right?
That and having to convert, particularly in the gym, from pounds to kilos, and then temperature is like, oh God.
The temperature's actually not that bad though.
I mean, it's not that good.
Yes, but I like within 2 years, I got pretty accustomed to temperature. Stones, I don't think I'll ever get used to.
It feels like this weird medieval holdover where it's like 14 pounds.
It makes no sense.
Like, how does anybody calculate what that means without just having it like...
Why does anyone want
Literally.
to, you know? If you lose 17 pounds, would you say you lost 17 pounds or 1 stone and a little?
1 stone and 3 pounds.
They would say 1 stone and 3 pounds? Mm-hmm. That's ridiculous.
I know.
What? What?
One other thing that I was going to say that is not quite the same thing. It's not words that are different, but vowel sounds. This is something that used to get me all the time and still... Actually, I think we've been together for long enough now that my husband knows what I'm talking about. But like words like berry a body and strawberry, that to an American ear, those words are pronounced exactly the same. But to a British ear, the vowel sound is like really distinct. And when I hear British people saying the two different words, it's like berry, berry. And it's like, okay, what's the distinction between the two of them? And they can really hear it. And I'll say, you know, it was topped with a berry, and they're like, a what? And to them, it's like the other pronunciation or a different pronunciation that means something completely different. Oh. And that used to infuriate me. It's like, use your context clues.
We live for the context clues.
I was going to say, I would assume that they would just get it based off of context clues. I would never talk about topping off my ice cream with a berry and have it be like a verb.
Right?
Yeah. Very, I mean, just sentence structure made.
With a verb.
Sentence structure in it.
Come on, Brits. You invented it. Right. It's called English. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us the knowledge that we need, Adam.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, this is so much fun.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Where can people find you on social media?
At Spark Parade, all social media. And the show comes out every week on Wednesdays.
Nice.
Yeah, you guys should definitely go check it out. AJ and I have been listening to some episodes and we really, really enjoy it.
Yeah, I think you can learn a lot about people through their taste. So, it kind of gives people a little bit more insight into my guests without having to really ask them invasive personal questions.
Oh, Oh, that's always fun too.
Yeah, we love being invasive. But yeah, you get a lot of the same great like interview content without it being such an interview. Yeah. So congratulations on your podcast.
Thank you.
Everyone go check that out.
For sure. Megan.
AJ.
Oh, I was about to ask you.
Oh, look at us.
Megan,
so polite.
will you ask me what my socials are?
Oh, rude. Okay. AJ, what are your socials?
You can find me at I Am Sola Music official.
That's me.
Sorry. You can find Megan at I Am Sola Music. I almost said I Am Sola Music official. That would be way too long.
I heard that. That would be very long.
Yes, you can find Megan at I Am Sola Music on Instagram, on Twitter, on the other ones,
Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook. I'm the same way. I am at AJ Marks Official on all of those same platforms. No, we do not yet have an OnlyFans. I know we joke about it a lot. It has not come to fruition.
That's under construction right now.
Yes, under construction, exactly. And so, and you can follow some of our other podcasts. We have a new one out called Main Pod Girl, in which we talk about pop music, which is a lot of fun.
Yes, that one is a show for Reddit's #1 pop music community called Pop Heads. So if you are a Reddit user, go check out Pop Heads. And if you like podcasts, which you must if you made it all the way this far, you can go check out Main Pod Girl wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, we're telling you that you like podcasts and you like us.
But do it after you listen to the Spark Parade because that's your first call.
Yes,
and
okay.
then that's
priorities.
Then
But yes, it's called Main Pod Girl. So like podcast.
Yes. And also, for those who haven't seen yet, we have just started both a website, which is soundbitepodcast.com, where we will be posting loads of articles that we're writing about our episodes and some stuff that we don't get to in the episodes. So you'll get to learn some extra bits about British and American culture and pop music and whatnot. So go check that out. That's soundbitepodcast.com. And also, if you like the show, you're invited to write a review. So go down.
I'm going to tell you that you have to. It's actually a requirement. If you're going to listen to the next episode, at least do the decent thing. Give us a review if you're listening on Apple Podcasts.
We've never asked for this before.
We've only asked once.
Yes.
We asked for one thing.
It's not like we're begging, but we can beg if you'd like us to.
We decided it's time.
Go find us on Instagram at American_idiots_abroad, and we will see you very, very soon.
See ya.